I had that whole day. I just felt like
Not the whole day.
no after the Rebecca Black
Yeah.
part, for some reason I was in full goblin mode, and like sometimes I get like that.
I
and
don't know that you should go past 3 hours because that was the 4th hour.
Oh, interesting.
It does. There's something to that.
There's some science there, right?
Tell me if you think I saw what I thought was a fairly insightful comment on Reddit about it, which is that with the conversation with Rebecca Black, because you know, her story is kind of messed up, everything that happened to her and traumatic and everything, you were being very careful in that conversation. And that there was like a rubber band effect. Like once she left, you were like freed and you went 180 in the other direction of just full goblin mode.
To be honest with you, I do think that has something to do with it. I also think that I have an impulsivity problem with that's related to my Tourette's, which I am now discovering I can actually use that as an excuse. Look at this comment. Damn, why didn't we wrap up after the interview? We still have to get canceled.
Exactly.
I do genuinely think that I'm not normal, right?
You are normal. Come on.
But why is it though? By the way, and I don't like. I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to cop out and not accept responsibility. Of course I do, but I'm trying to understand. Maybe there's something in me that is.
No, I agree because I know you in real life, not on camera. And I know your views on things, and I know that you would have never laughed at her crying.
Of course.
Of course, obviously.
To be honest,
that's why it's like it's upsetting for me to watch you do that to yourself because I know you, and I know that that's not you. But I know for somebody else opening the show and seeing that what that's gonna look like, it's gonna look awful. And I think that yes, there's some kind of an impulsive thing that you.
Sometimes, listen, I'm a comedian.
You gotta play with fire. It's like you just have to.
I do, and I'll tell you. Look. I love my job. I love to make you guys laugh and explore the medium of doing comedy in this kind of open, impromptu setting. And like, it's funny. I did it so fast. I almost did it on purpose so fast that I didn't give myself a chance to even think about it. Because I was like, I feel like this would be funny. I was like, I feel like this would be funny because it's so fucked up.
And you only let that thought go through before the second thought is like, maybe it's not a good idea though.
That did not approach my brain. There was no, that wasn't an option, you know? And the chestnut song was just the moment. It really was the moment.
Well, I feel like it was, in my opinion, it was funny during the first half of the story when we were talking about the, what was the dude's name?
Patriarch.
When we were talking on that.
That was comical.
But the thing is, like, that guy is obviously a douche, and it's okay to satirize him. But someone that I'm actually like friendly with, and who is expressing herself vulnerability, and is the victim, then obviously that is not the vibe that I want. It's to make her feel bad. And actually, you know what really made me feel bad is afterwards, I talked with her and she told me that essentially it made her feel bad. And so that I felt gutted by. And also her boyfriend reached out and was like, why? And said something like to the effect of like, why are you so mean? And that made me feel horrible. Because obviously that's never the intention. Because really at the end of the day, all that matters is how she perceived it. And she didn't like it, and he didn't like it. And then I felt really, really bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.